Arisen.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you, Dear Martin, for this great introduction. Welcome and hello, everyone. Thank you for taking time to join us today. I am Dilara Çetin. I have been working as volunteer for PMI Turkey chapter. And today I want to thank PMO Global Institute on behalf of PMI Turkey chapter for this great collaboration, organization, and support in contributing to this event. We are glad to cooperate with you. As PMI Turkey chapter during the 2022, we conducted a series of activities online and face-to-face on different topics. We try to do our best and we follow trend topics all over the world. And now we are at the end of year. It is super to end this year with global activity and in a trending topic with PMO Global. We are excited to have you are here. This is an opportunity for all of us to learn how Agile PMO works, Agile Manifesto and Project Management Office. I hope you will take away some valuable information as we go through the event. Dilar gave us details of event. I am so excited to listen these topics from dear Burak, dear Abdullah, dear Eda. Today we will listen to these excellent speakers. So I want to thank our speakers for taking the time to share their knowledge. I want to do a reminder for you. We will share the questionnaire for this event. You can find it in the chat. I will often share with you during the event to catch it. We will appreciate if you could fill it in. It is important for both PMO Global and PMI Turkey chapter to get your feedback to improve ourselves in the future events. In addition, we will share with you the claim codes in the questionnaire and also in the chat area. You can issue your PDUs with that way. And now it is time to give the floor again, Dilar Martin. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dilara. All right, so let me share screen with you and tell you a little bit about PMO Global Institute. So to some of you, this name might be familiar, and to some of you, this name might be fairly new. So let me tell you a little bit about PMO Global Institute. And you can read along with me there. PMO Global Institute is the global body for PMO certifications, representing a global project management offices, including project, program, and portfolio managers, involved in defining, establishing, and running high-performance project management offices in and across industry sectors. Now, our objective is pretty simple. The objective of PMO Global Institute is to make PMO learning available to project professionals all around the world. And there's several ways that we do this. One is through our certification, another through events, networking, and hands-on knowledge sharing. So the learning outcomes for today, what might you expect? Today, we'll be learning how the Agile PMO works, a very trendy topic. We'll be learning some tools and techniques to set up an Agile PMO. We'll learn about the Agile Manifesto and Agile principles and how they are practically applied in the PMO space, as well as make use of best practices in the PMO and increase the success rate of projects. And you'll also be able to claim 2 PDUs, as Dilara said. Now, the session benefits for the audience. Each and every one of you will gain access to a CB PMO framework, all right? That'll be accessed through the associate of membership, which we will share later. You'll also gain access to some Agile PMO tips, tools, and techniques. You'll gain access to the largest PMO community, as well as 5 lucky winners will stand a chance to win a fully paid membership valued at $89 with the PMO Global Institute. And there will also be a 10% discount on PMO Global Institute certification program. Now, when I say 5 lucky winners will stand a chance to win a fully sponsored membership with PMO Global Institute, how to win that? At the end of the session, we will be having a quiz. We will be playing a Kahoot game, and the 5 top winners will get that paid membership. And the year membership is valued at $89, and it comes with a series of benefits, but probably the biggest benefit you'll have is getting access to this PMO guidebook. It is a project management office, principles and standards, a step-by-step guide in how to set up a successful PMO. So we often get that question, you know, we are the PMO Global Institute. We have these global goals. How global are you? So we have over 2,000 members across 100 different countries. and over 70 different business partners across 50 different countries. Now, some statistics for you. 46% of PMO directors say that their organization does not understand the value of project management. 68% of stakeholders perceive their PMO as bureaucratic. And it's this interplay between benefits and bureaucracy, which are big reasons why we see a kind of pushback and lack of buy-in and acceptance of the PMOs. And in order to talk further upon these challenges within PMO in the Turkey space is our next speaker, Burak Ulujak. And Burak is a high-level executive with over 24 years of experience in blending information technology and financial solutions with business values and benefits. He's also a part-time professor in management of information systems, digital age, project management, and agile development fields, and currently acts as the CTO, so the Chief Technology Officer for Micro Group, Turkey's leading SME focused on ERP and accountancy software. Thank you. Over to you, Burak.
Thank you very much for the introduction. I can't share the screen right now. It is disabled.
Yes, you should be co-host.
Yes, now I can. Okay. I can start. Today I will talk about the challenges of PMOs in Turkey. But when we are talking about Turkey, since Turkey is a part of the global system, you will also find some similarities in your countries also. So when we look at this from this window, in the global world, the technological change is going very fast, especially in the last 100 years. For thousands of years, there was no big technological revolution took place. But beginning from the industrial age, after we start the industrial age with the steam power, then 100 years later, we found electric power. After that, we landed to moon. We discovered World Wide Web, and then understood the details of our own DNAs. According to Ray Kurzweil, the processing power of a computer will surpass the brain power of a human being in the coming years. And 20 years later, he says that a computer will surpass the brain power of all human beings living on the planet. So this is like a fiction thing. But when you look at the chat GDP, maybe you have seen that a few weeks ago. Now I started to believe that it answers anything you ask about it, even programming details, and it answers in a few seconds back to you. So when we look at the product side, there are lots of products, lots of inventions are coming to the market, and these products, new products, were reaching to 50 million customers in years. But now in today's world, these products are reaching to 50 million customers in days with the help of technology and digitalization. For example, you present a new movie or a new song, and it is bought by or listened or watched by 50 million people, maybe in one day. So this brings us a pressure to the project management side. Now we have to deliver our projects in shorter times related to this velocity. On the other hand, although technology is changing very fast, organizations are not changing that way, because organizations are entities, the social entities composed of people. And when we look at ourselves as human beings, we are not changing a lot. In the last 100 years, we are not thinking differently, feeling differently, walking differently. We are the same. On our lifespan has increased. Related to that, there is a little bit changed on the organization or product development life cycle or methodologies. At the beginning of the 20th century, we started to develop products in a waterfall environment, and it hasn't changed a lot until the last years. A division is doing its part, producing its part, and transferring the product to the other division, and that division does the modifications for themselves, and they transfer it to the other division, etc. But in 1986, I think a revolutionary paper was issued by Takoichi and Nonaka, two professors. Although 99% of the companies were working like this way, 1% of the companies were working differently. These companies are, for example, Honda, XP, HP, Xerox, Canon, etc. Most of them are still active today. These companies are producing their products with multidisciplinary teams, and these multidisciplinary teams are integrating the development phases with each other. For example, while a designer is designing a new product, a marketing person in the same team was thinking about how to market the new design and was giving feedback to the design person while he was thinking on the design. By this way, they are taking feedback from each other, learning from each other, and completing their projects much faster than the other competitors and companies. And the term Scrum is first used in this paper in terms of product development team. And this process, this framework went to the technological world 10 years later with Agile Manifesto and then the Scrum Guide. And it is the beginning of 2000s. In Turkey, at the beginning of 2000s, when I started my professional career also after university, I was working in a big bank in the IT department of that bank. There was no project manager or project management. The person who was more senior in the team was trying to lead the team, but we were not looking at the plans to calendars, etc. As a result, we were starting the projects slowly. We were doing lots of meetings to understand coming together with the customer, which is a good thing. But then we were coming back to our offices. We do not come together again with the customer. And in our IT offices, we were starting to develop the product. We were writing the business analysis, then transferring it to the developers. Then developers, after completing their parts, sending the product to testers or business analysts. Then we were sending it to the customers. As a result, we were starting slowly. But as the deadline comes, we were trying to work harder and harder in order to reach that deadline. As a result, the end product was not very successful. It was starting with very good intentions, but completing poorly. To fix that, big organizations, big private sector organizations started to form project management offices between 2005 and 2015. For 10 years, lots of big companies started to form project management offices. They hired project managers. Most of those people got their PMPs, project management professional certifications, etc., in order to manage this waterfall process in a better way. At those days, at the same time, Scrum Guide was presented by Sutherland and Schweber in 2001. Kanban was presented in technology in 2010. The Lean Startup book, which is another very important book for the sector, and where I saw first minimum viable product culture, was also presented in 2011, sorry. What these agile framework or agile culture says that us, instead of the big deliverables, big projects, deliver your product step by step with my minimum viable products, getting feedback from customer, fixing it, and delivering the next version. This was not the case in Turkey at those days. In the IT sectors, in banking sector, I was working. A 1-year project is very ordinary. A 6-month project is a small project for us, and we can see 2 years project, 1.5 years projects in our roadmap, and this was also ordinary. And I was doing my PhD in 2013, and I was preparing my project PhD thesis, which was about project success factors in technology sector in Turkey. So I reached about 300 people working in technology sector, and I asked them, I had about 15 variables, and I asked them which variables are the most important for you to deliver successful projects. And these people returned to me, and I did a statistical analysis of that, and I saw that to have a successful project, the project mission, the scope of the project should be understood by the project team. This is the most important thing. The second thing is technical tasks should be done in a good way, and this is very reasonable and ordinary. But the most important thing here is, at those days, yes, we had necessary people in our hands, but we were giving them a lot of projects at the same time. For example, an ordinary project manager was managing 7 or 8 projects at the same time. A developer was working on 3 or 4 projects at the same time, and a business analyst is the same. So nobody was concentrating on the project with full focus. Another thing is we need client consultation. That means we have to be together with the client and take continuous feedback from them. And there is a variable that affects negatively the project success, and this was project duration. As the projects gets bigger and longer, that means your project will not be successful or fail. And when I combine these all together in my head, I reached to agile practices. I took PMP in 2006 and Certified Scrum Master certificate in 2009. And now I was believing that agile will solve lots of problems in our term. We will be much more faster. So in 2014, I was working in a bank as the head of PMO, and the CEO asked me to fasten the projects by finding a way. And I said, let's do Scrum, because 90% of the people who practice agile frameworks are also practicing Scrum. I said, let's do Scrum. We talk with agile coaches, consultants, which were very rare in Turkey at those days, at 2014, and nobody had big agile transformation in organizations. But also, of course, they know what is Scrum and what is agility. When we look at the agile Scrum guide, we see product manager, product owner, product development team, Scrum master, but no project manager. When we look at more mature modules like Spotify Stripe framework, we have tribe lead, chapter leader, guild lead, product owner, product team, and there is again no project manager. And consultants said me that let's close project management office. There is nothing like this in Scrum. So I would be the person who would lead agile transformation and close the project management office as the head of PMO, which is not a good thing for me. But I believe that, okay, Scrum and agile practices will work very well in small companies and startups with little people. But in big organizations like banks, telecom, etc., we need project management offices, although we do Agile. In which sense, we should do some demand management, because there are lots of requests are coming from different business units, which is above the capacity of IT, maybe 10 times above the IT. So a business division, an IT division should do a dispatching and understand which demands are important, which are not, which should be done quickly, which are big, which are small. So this division will be the portfolio management side of project management office. Also, we should plan our teams related to the requests, coming requests. Some are big. For big requests, we have to establish dedicated project teams, but we should also have some multidisciplinary teams who will solve small problems, small requests, but still important for the customer. And this organization should be done, I think, by PMO. Still, the organization, the top management should want to see a roadmap, because they have strategies. And as you know, these strategies are fulfilled by projects. And they want to see which project is related with which strategy, and when it will finish, what will it bring to the company. And it is very understandable. And these projects should be reported and monitored. If there is something problematic and wrong going, somebody should push the flag for that. And we need, again, the famous Gantt charts. It is 100 years old, you know, Henry Gantt's invention, the Gantt charts, but they are quite usable today still. We will need some programs, because some projects should be synchronized with each other to bring us the necessary effectiveness, etc. So as a result, we decided to transform our project management office to Agile project management office. And also we need some project governance for some very big projects. Like we had a, for example, transformation program at those days, which was about $20 million. So a project manager cannot give all the decisions for that, or a unit manager. Some decisions should be given by some important committees. And this governance is also assured by the project manager. In Scrum, you know, there is no sprint zero or initiation phase, but you know, in big companies, again, we need some initiation phases because our technological background is very big. We have many services. Some of them are reusable. So if I can reuse a service instead of writing it, developing it from scratch, it brings me a lot of time and decreases my cost. So before starting the project, we have to look at what is our stakeholders, what they want, what workaround can we find, what services or domains can be used again, etc. And this starts the hybrid project management approach. Also, yes, Agile welcomes every change, but in big companies, again, as you know, there are some certain deadlines that should be catched because we are in a very there is a race between the competitors, and there are many government issues that should be obeyed and that should be completed on time. So we cannot welcome every change till the end. So we have to reach an optimum point for that. And that is the role of the Agile project manager also. Yes, we have estimation problems in Agile frameworks because we do not spend lots of times, weeks or months for planning. We only spare, for example, a week or 2 weeks for planning mostly. After that, we start development. And the planning that is done at the beginning of the project phase is mostly wrong, related to kind of uncertainty theory. So somebody should educate top management that we are doing some rough estimates and still we are going to giving some deadlines. But we are not doing a lot of planning. So we have to change the scope, change the resources in order to reach that deadlines. And these changes are also managed by project managers who knows the strategy, who knows the teams, who knows the technology also. And this is the Agile project management office part. And another important thing is I believe Agile Center of Excellence division or teams must also work very close to the project management office or under that project management office, because doing an Agile transformation is like doing a big project. Again, we have lots of things to do while doing an Agile transformation in many terms, technological, mechanic, cultural, etc. We have to monitor our teams. For example, at those days, we had 50 Scrum teams working all together. We are trying to monitor all of them with our coaches, but we have to also see some KPIs in order to understand they are doing good or bad. So the Agile Center of Excellence teams have an agility backlog and agility activities. We have to do coaching, training, team health, team happiness organizations, team of the month organizations. We were issuing Agile newsletter, digital courses, company certifications, podcasts, and seminars. We have to do all of these again and again in order to transform our organization to an Agile organization and keep the motivation. So when we talk about an Agile PMO, I understand developing the Agile projects in an Agile way, also transferring the company to an Agile organization. So thank you for listening to me. After me, Mr. Abdullah Al Mamun will present the dynamics of Agile PMO. He is the CEO of PMO Global Institute. And thank you for.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Burak. And I just want to share my screen quickly and give you all a very warm introduction to our next speaker, who is the CEO of PMO Global Institute, Mr. Abdullah. So Abdullah is a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, and a passionate PMO professional. Abdullah is the chairman and key contributor to the PMO Guidebook development project. He's also the CEO of PMO Global Institute, which is the certification body of CB PMO certification, which is expanding knowledge of PMOs worldwide. In addition, he's also the president of Sales Management Institute, which is the leading certification body in sales. Now, Abdullah has been awarded the most influential CEO of 2018 by the CV Magazine UK for learning and development. And he's also the creator/architect of the world's first artificial intelligence-based PMO software and an AI-driven PMO model. Amongst his other creations, including the award-winning multilingual exam simulation platform, which is available in 7 international languages and being used by more than 100,000 users in 120 countries. Abdullah is a passionate project manager, speaker, and has spoken in over 40 countries across all the different continents around the world. And as the CEO of this prestigious PMO Global Institute, Abdullah's mission is to make PMO learning and tools available in 200 countries in the next 3 to 5 years through community engagement, knowledge sharing, and partnerships programs. And to be honest, to me, Abdullah is kind of the Elon Musk of PMOs. So I'd love to pass the floor to our next speaker, Abdullah. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, everyone. So how is this Friday evening going on? Right, so the World Cup final is day after tomorrow. Are you guys ready for this? Yeah, what do you think? Who is going to win, Argentina or France? Everyone come on video, please. I want to see the vote. Everyone come on video, please. Fast, fast, fast. Everyone, all of our partners, friends, all the audience, please come on the video. Right, good. Lot of nice faces. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Who is going to win? Who is in favor of France? Who do you think France is going to win? Not many. Not many. Yeah, many. Still, it's quite a good number. Right. Who thinks Argentina is going to win? Argentina.
Messi.
Really? Corinne, have you raised your hand for both France and Argentina?
No, France beat England. So if they win, it means we were going to win. This is my thinking.
Good. That's a good one, right? So good. I was hearing all these brilliant, presentations. Thank you, Dylan, for moderating the event very nicely. I see a lot of our friends join today, and we just crossed 100 participants mark. So big congratulations and give a big round of applause to all of you. 106. We are 106. Brilliant. Thank you. Right, and thank you, Burak, for sharing your experience, and sharing the journey from how the evolution of the project management happened. My topic will be a bit on the next layer. For example, so we have been hearing about projects, right? So in last 15, 18 years, there is a battle, why Agile, and finally Agile has been established. We all know that, the importance of Agiles and everything, the waterfall, the, Agile project management. And the beautiful things now we all do is hybrid project management, right? Hybrid. Okay, so what is hybrid? Very simple. We have been doing, mostly we covered the whole world of project management into two parts. One is industrial projects, another one is knowledge work projects, right? So it was discovered that, when it comes to knowledge work project, for example, software development, research and development, a lot of other stuff, many of the traditional way of doing things didn't work, because many of the things in this, in this knowledge work project, we don't know the requirements in advance in many cases. There are a lot of unknown factors out there, right? That's why we notice if you have adapted, the Agile philosophy, principles, and mindset, if you have shorter iteration, quicker review, frequent reviews, and verification, then Agile project management approach works best, right? So the battle, in chat box, we have a lot of battles, waterfall or Agile, right? The best, the method now is, to me, depends on the kind of projects you're doing. I normally make it fun. If you know exactly what needs to be done in your project, I'm repeating, if you know exactly what needs to be done in your project, why experiment? Go for waterfall, because you know exactly what needs to be done, right? But when it comes to a bit complex projects, then we see the dealing between Agile, adapting good practices of Agile in waterfall. A lot of practice in waterfall comes to in Agile. So I don't want to go to these discussions today. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting topic, which is Agile PMO. Before even comes to Agile PMO, we need to know, which is actually already Burak has explained, right? The projects, programs, and portfolios. Then comes to project management office, and project management office could be many types, right? And under project management office, there is one very interesting types of project management office we have is called Agile PMO, right? So I will take you through this journey step by step. I don't have much time today, but before that, just to introduce that, we have one of our senior member from Turkey. Eda, where are you? Raise your hand. Yes, let me introduce
Hi, boss.
our assistant vice president, and Eda is basically from Turkey. She lives in Turkey, and she basically drives the partnership business for Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. Right. So Eda, please be vigilant during this session. Your event. Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
So sure. Let me share my screen. All right, so you can see my screen, right? You can see my screen. Brilliant. Fantastic. So we all know about PMO. It's a very common topic now, PMO, right? Okay. So PMO, just to help you out, we all know that PMO is when you have multiple projects, you need to set up a project management office or department where you manage multiple projects in a coordinated way, right? And there are many other, benefits out there. We all know this. Now, and to be very frank, many of our project managers, directly or indirectly, they're part of a project management office, probably a formal project management office or probably an informal project management office. They're somehow part of the PMO. All right, and last 10 years, it has been a big buzzword, PMO, PMO, PMO. I tell you why. Who can tell me how many PMP certified professionals we have around the world? Tell me the number.
1.3 million.
1.3 million. Who said that?
Tony Prensa.
Tony. Yeah, Tony just came from the Global Summit. So he has a fresh numbers in mind. Right. So absolutely. Big class for Tony. Perfectly said. 1.3 million, my friend. Any guess how many PDUs certified professionals we have around the world? PDUs. Guess it. Anyone? Probably 1 million plus. 1 million plus, right? So we are talking about almost 2.3 million. 2.3 million certified project management professionals. PMP, PDUs, and related, maybe around 3 million altogether. 3 million certified professionals around the world. So let's consider that mostly they're into project management profession. They started their career as a project manager or junior project manager, then becoming a senior project manager. And what's next after they become a senior project manager? Think of their career perspective. The next is PMO, isn't it? Mostly they're going to lead the departments. They're going to lead the project management office and all the projects. So that's why I think. But how many actually PMO professionals do we have around the world? How many PMO certified professionals do we have? Very few, by the way, right? So I think it's the right time that we think PMO as one of our prospective career for those who are into project management, right? And the good time has come. There is already a big gap in project management world, certified professionals, and hopefully, with all of our initiative, we'll be able to, cover this gap. All right. So many of you know that PMO actually has a lot of failure rates around the world. I just have 2 minutes for you. Hit the chat box. Put 2 reasons. Why do you think PMO fails around the world? Your time starts right now. Go ahead. 2 minutes. Write down 2 points, each of you. Why PMO fails? Why PMO fails? Two minutes. Hit the chat box, please. Lack of authority, lack of knowledge in PMO, company culture. Yes, company culture could be a big issue. Lack of communications among the stakeholders, lack of authority. What else? 2 points, everyone, hit the chat box. Lack of resources, requirement change frequently. Tuna said lack of communication and lack of interest. No support from top management. No support from top management, right? True. What else? What else? Dylan said they are not using PMO framework. Good one, Dylan. Yeah, lack of people, lack of authorizations. Say some more. Why PMO fails? Why PMO fails? More. Yeah. All right. Unqualified sponsor is, yes, very important, because many of the sponsor of the PMO, they're not aware about the importance of running a PMO. Lack of common language. It does not cover all situations and all industry requirements. Maybe true. Do not demonstrate ROI. Steven Souther said. Very, very true. Time's in. Time's up. All right, good. Thank you. So you see, there are many reasons why PMO fails around the world. Many reasons, right? We can take a whole sessions, finding out the common reasons of why PMO fails. But just to say on the high levels that around 75% PMOs around the world, across industry, one of the statistics says they get shut down within 3 years' time. 3 years' time. The sponsors, the initiators started the PMO with a lot of expectation that tomorrow we have set up a PMO, and from day after tomorrow all project will be green, right? Because now we have a project management office, and there is a team who is actually taking care of the project, so we don't have to worry. But it's not the reality. It's not the reality. Well, today we'll talk about why PMO fails and how we can overcome using our framework as well as using the Agile PMO. All right. Okay. So number one reason is many of the cases sponsors, they start the PMO with a lot of expectations, but they don't see values coming through the PMO in shorter period of time. That's why in our framework we always recommend our consultants, right? Think of 3 months iteration. When you're setting your PMO, set 3 months, targets. First sprint, 3 months, 3 months, 3 months. So in every 3 months, you give something back to your sponsor, something visible, right? So that they really start realizing the value of the PMO in shorter period of time. I'll explain how that works. All right. So number two is lack of senior sponsorship. I have seen many PMOs. They are actually not aware. Their responsibility is about how they should sponsor and support their PMO. Many of the cases, right? That means there's importance for educating your PMOs and the top level management and setting the expectation with your sponsor that I expect these supports during this time during my PMO setup process, right? And inexperienced PMO, there was topic like 15 years back, when we all jump into PMP certification, right? And the era of PMP certification, we have seen many projects fails because of accidental PMO. Do you remember what is called accidental PMO? Right? Probably, he was a good software engineer in your team. And you think, oh, he's a great software engineer. Come on, make him a project manager. Right? He can manage better projects. And he literally fails, and we call them the accidental project manager, right? So similar way, we call it, accidental PMOs nowadays, because many of the cases we have seen, there are very good project managers who run good projects, but they are not, good at running PMO, because PMO itself is a, running a department. It has its own language and it has its own step-by-step process, and that requires some learning and education and experience, right? So yeah. Next is, strategic vision, not aligned, all right? Many of the cases, sponsor does not realize the PMO benefits and values. Many of the cases, your PMO thinks there is a PMO and there is a police organization is there. Somebody is monitoring me every time what I do, right? There is a police waiting for me, taking, my controls in the projects. Many of the stakeholder things, right? And many of the cases, low project success, and the sponsor stop giving sponsorship, right? So there are some more. For example, top-down strategic alignment is not there. Value consistency accuracy issue. Decisions is not coming on time. Proper not getting facilities for project completions. Not enough, some of the benefits of PMO, we can talk about is that, PMO benefits we all know. They give training, mentoring, give strategic decisions and all this stuff, right? So one of the approach that is very popular nowadays when it comes to PMO is called purpose, measure, and optimize. purpose, measure, and optimize, right? All right. Who can tell me? Let me give you an insight. Do you know there are 5 levels of maturity levels in PMO? Level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 levels of maturity in PMO in one of the statistics by PMI, right? So the initial stage, level 1 is kind of like, it's the early stage. Nothing is defined, all right? And then basically, your PMO develops in level 2, level 3, it gets more defined. Level 4 and level 5 is optimized level, optimize, okay? Optimize means still not complete. That means continuous improvements is there, all right? Any case, as per one of the survey given by again PMI is that most of the cases around 71% for organizations, mid-size and large, they have some kind of PMO by the name of PMO, right? And according to one of the research, they figured out, any case, among all the PMOs around the world, what is the percentage of PMOs they belong to level 1 maturity level? Anyone? Tell me, guess. If level 1 maturity level is nothing is defined. Nothing is defined. That means they have a PMO, but nothing is defined. Among all the PMOs around the world, what do you think? What is the percentage of PMOs they still operate in level 1? What do you think? Give me a number. Dilara, tell me. What do you think? Maturity level 1 among all the PMOs around the world.
88%.
Yeah, my
Dragan,
95. Yeah.
yeah, oh my God. Dragan, are you kidding? 88% PMO still operates level 1?
Absolutely.
Now you see the gap in the industry, in the whole world in PMO space. That
Oh,
means
yeah.
from level 1, they have the opportunity to move to level 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where do we stand? That means we really need a lot of effort to improve this PMO world. A lot of efforts, and there are a lot of opportunities in scope as well, right? And this is a challenge we have taken to to solve these matters. That's why PMO stands for purpose, measure, optimize. It's one of the the slogan that we normally adapt to when we operate the PMO. So there are many challenges to overcome these challenges and everything. PMO Global Institute, they have actually set up these PMO. They have developed this PMO guidebook after almost like 5 years of research. All right, so where you get that step-by-step process, how you can set up and run your PMO and measure your PMO. All right. So we have a framework. The framework is called CBPMO framework. CBPMO framework. I'm going to talk a little bit about the CBPMO framework. Probably Dylan has mentioned at the end of the session today, we have a quiz. And the quiz is more like a games. It's a fun-loving games. All right. So and all the topics I'm discussing, all the questions I'm asking, you may expect the questions from there. So be vigilant during the sessions. All right. And the winners, top 5 scorers of that today's game, will receive this PMO guidebook, and they will receive. Yeah, look at Corinne's. It's a good one. The digital version you'll get, all right? The guidebook. So you'll get the membership of PMO Global Institute. 5 lucky winners today. So I want all of you to participate and join these games and have some fun. All right. Okay. So the framework we are going to talk about, it has actually 4 layers. Layers starting from foundation layers. Then basically we have the executable layers, then we have leadership layers, and we also have parallelly the supporting layers, right? So let me explain a little bit, how these framework basically operates. First, start with foundation layer, okay? And the foundation layer, so basically, it's a very interesting thing. We start with business objective. What does it mean? Before even you set up your PMO, from your initial teams, go to your sponsor and stakeholders, key stakeholders, interview them, talk to them, take them for dinner, take them for outside, have some constructive discussion, get their pain points. Again, I'm telling you, get their pain points. We call it the pain formula. Anyone knows about the pain formula? Right? Get the pains so that you can give some solutions. Right? So list down all the pains and challenges your stakeholders and sponsors have. Write it down. All right. Then set that objective, how you can help them get their problem solved, and set the objectives. The phase 1 is setting the objectives. Number 2, the PMO strategy. The PMO strategy part is actually quite comprehensive. It includes a couple of things. Number 1, it includes the health check. Number 2, actually, also we do the maturity assessment, right? What does it mean? Health check. Normally, if you go to your doctor, right? And you say, I have a pain. Probably I have a headache, right? Does doctor gives you the paracetamol right away, right? So he does some test. He asks you a lot of questions. He gives you, asks you a lot of questions, and he asks you, what did you do yesterday? What did you eat this, in your breakfast? How long you're having this pain? A lot of questions he asks, right? So health check is kind of like this. Before you jump into a PMO, do a simple health check based on your existing operation, right? And see where is the core pain point. Try to find out, is the risk is not getting managed? Is the change management is not organized? Is the sponsors are not giving instructions, as per the instruction? Find out the key pain points. Then you can do a maturity assessment. If you already actually have a PMO, run a maturity assessment test. Right. We have another signature sessions on maturity assessment. It's a bit advanced level topic. Probably we expect who already into PMO space, we expect you to join these particular sessions. Right. We plan to have 1 or 2 sessions in 2023 on maturity assessment. Right. It's a very advanced topic. In the maturity assessment, you try to see among these 5 levels of maturity of a PMO, where do you stand in level 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. Let's say you're operating in level 2. Then you have to plan how you can go to level 3, 4, and 5, not in one day. Probably you have to target, like you are moving from level 2 to level 3 in next 2 years time. Then from level 3 to level 4, another 2 years time, right? Still, maybe you'll need like 10 years time to actually get into maturity levels, right? It doesn't happen over time. Then we need to analyze the functions and that the PMO should operate. Then we set up the roadmap. All right. So the roadmap itself is a long project, and in roadmap we have like phase 1 deliverables, phase 2 deliverables, phase 3 deliverables, phase 4 deliverables. Right. Okay. So you can call it a big, big projects, large projects, where each phase of the roadmap is one project for you. And there has to be some defined deliverables in phase, the PMO roadmaps. And next important that once the roadmap is defined, that, in next 3 years time, you want to do this, then you go and sign up for a PMO charter. Right? Interesting, isn't it? In project management, the first process is PMO, project charter. You get the project charter signed with your sponsor. Here, before even you sign the the PMO charter, you have a lot of activities to be done. Okay, all right. So next phase is the executable layer. It's not phase by phase; it's done in parallel. So basically, there's something called 2PG. 2PG means policy, procedure, and governance. This is a terms by PMOGI called 2PG. Remember everyone? 2PG means policy, procedures, and governance. Policy, procedure, and governance. Now you see, let's say if you are operating in maturity level 1, then you need to decide the MVPs that Burak has talked about, right? The concept called MVP, minimum viable product. Same things you can apply in PMO. Find out, let's say you are operating in level 1. So initially you need to start your PMO, right? You need to start your initial 2PG, means, you need to figure it out. What is the minimum processes you need to start your PMO? You don't need all the templates, tools, and techniques. You don't need this initially. You just need the the basic MVPs. Find out what are the minimum policy you need. Find out what are the minimum SOPs do you need. Maybe you need the change management SOPs. Maybe you need the conflict management SOP. Maybe risk and issues. Right, couple of SOPs. Right. Next, you develop your proof of concept. Again, supported by agile philosophy. Right. Before you jump into the whole projects, do some experiments. Take 1 or 2 deliverables, run it under your PMO and see the results. How does it operate? Does it really sync with the environment? Right? Then, define your KPIs. This is another big session, defining your KPIs, then basically, define the roles and competency levels of your PMO teams, then evaluate the ROI, okay? And continuously track performance of your PMO and, continuous improvement. Are you guys sleeping? Can you come on video, please, everyone? Sakir, Alif, Artun, everyone come on video, otherwise I don't feel motivated. Yeah, give me some motivation. It's midnight here. Okay. All right, good. So, so basically, how many, many of the cases you have seen one common challenge in PMO from the sponsor. Your sponsor mostly thinks PMO is your cost center, isn't it? They think you are spending a lot of money from your PMO. It's more like a cost center. But if you go through our PMO guidebook, your PMO is a profit center. And as a head of PMO, your target should be to make your PMO as the profit center for your organizations. How is possible? Go through the guidebook, right? There is some methods how you can make your PMO the profit center. There's a clear methods out there, right? Think of the situation. If you can prove your PMO a profit center, think of the importance you'll get to your top management. They will give you more money because it's a profit center. They will give you more money. They will give you more resources so that you can grow your PMO to the next roadmaps and achieve the goals, right? Okay, shortly I just to cover that there are support staff is there, models, methods, stakeholder managements are there. You need a PMO technology stake to manage your PMO. Then team structure is very, very important. The succession planning. How many of you have seen that your PMO head has left the PMO and within a couple of months your PMO got shut down? Anyone has experienced this? Your PMO has left and the PMO got shut down because there was no succession planning for the PMO. Fantastic. Thank you, Galani, for sharing. Absolutely. That is very, very important that you need to consider a big succession plan for your PMO as well. Okay. All right. So then supporting functions are there, PMO structures are there. And now you see there is Agile PMO. There is Agile PMO. And also, the very important thing is that there is a PMO leadership. Layer 4 is called leadership and sponsorship. In the chat box, initially, many of you actually covered that, they don't get proper support from top management. They don't get proper support. So that's why we have added this executive sponsorship as well as emotional intelligence, right? So if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat box. After my session, I will take those questions, right? So feel free to put these questions in the chat box, all right? So these are the 4 layers of the CBPMO framework, which itself is an agile kind of framework because it goes step-by-step process, right? So now we have covered projects. We talked about, project management office. Now we talked about the guidebook and the framework. Now, one simple question to all of you. How many types of PMOs you are aware of? What are the different types of PMOs you have come across so far? Please, you have 1 minute to put 2 types of PMO right in the chat box. Your time starts right now. Right, at least 2 types of PMO that you are aware of, exist in the world. Esan said directive, Harkin said agile lean PMO, supportive PMO, strategic PMO, directive agile PMO. Yeah, share some more. Directive, supportive, controlling. Yes. What else? Enterprise PMO. Esan said EPMO is there. CEO Office PMO. I like that. CEO Office PMO. IT and strategy PMO. Fantastic, guys. You guys are brilliant. Trust me, you guys are brilliant, right? So let me share one structure of PMO, right? So here is a structure. So you can start with a project management office. You can start with the project management office. Okay, here's a project management office, and in the project management office, it could be like a supportive PMO, a controlling PMO, a directive PMO, right? Then there is a PMO called program management office, or in other words, we mostly call them the center of excellence. So for your information, program management office and center of excellence kind of mostly used as a synonymous. Then we have the portfolio management PMO, which we mostly call the enterprise PMO. Enterprise PMO is kind of like large, right? So it covers most of the departments of your organizations and the projects. Okay, and you can have a PMO under your functional department, which we normally call business unit PMOs. There could be a special purpose PMO. Let's say you have a transformation projects that from your legacy system to a new system and to move. Then you have some special purpose PMO. Let's say you would like to have some lean certification or CMI level 5 certifications. Then you can have a quality PMO as well. Temporary PMO is done, then they go back. Right? So there are Agile PMO, compliance PMO, and digital PMO as well. Today, we cover a little bit, mostly we'll cover this Agile PMO piece, right? And before we come to Agile PMO, I had to cover the framework and the PMO and a lot of other stuffs, because without this framework, Agile PMO implementation is not possible in this particular context, right? So it has some prerequisites to cover with before we jump into Agile PMO, because Agile PMO, the concept sounds very fancy, and practically applying this Agile PMO is not that fancy. It requires some experience and some mindset to adapt before you just jump into it. So let me talk about Agile PMO. When it comes to Agile PMO, what comes to your mind, guys? Tell me. Anyone can share the experience. Gelani, you want to share something? What comes to your mind when I say Agile PMO? You can unmute if you want. Yeah. Anas, do you want to participate? Anas? Or anyone else? What comes to your mind, Agile PMO? Steven Souther, please share. What is your thought about Agile PMO?
Well, Agile PMO certainly needs to be able to support Agile methodology as far as delivering projects, but even more so than that, the mindset of, as you have here on your slide, transparency and visibility, and being adaptive and change. Just pretty much using the Agile Manifesto and methodologies in the development and operation of PMO.
Brilliant, Steven. Big class for Steven. Brilliant. Thank you so much, Steven. Right, good, very thoughtful. So when it comes to Agile PMO, it's very important that we cannot remove all Agile old practices and principles and manifesto. First thing we have to remember that how we can apply the manifesto of Agile and the principles of Agile into PMO context, not project, into PMO context. So it's more bigger than actually the project management, right? Into PMO context. I will explain how we are going to do it. Okay, so this 4 philosophies mindset applies for Agile PMO, which is starting from individual interactions over processes and tools. That means still you have a PMO, but still you have to think that how you can make it more interactive, more team engagement, more sessions with the stakeholders, right? And more reviews, okay? Right? Then, working deliverables over comprehensive, documentations. Third, manifesto is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. And final one is responding to change over following. I will explain how does this work, how does it work. So these 4 manifesto, we have to think how we are going to apply in PMO space, okay? Right. So here, some of the implementation examples of PMO, Agile PMO, all right? So number one, Agile Manifesto while designing the PMO framework. So when you're setting up your PMO and setting up your 2PG, policy, procedure, and governance, you have to actually, design your PMO framework. It could be CBPMO framework, it could be, customized framework. You have to decide based on your organization's requirements and the objectives, to decide your PMO framework, right? When you're designing your PMO framework, you need to keep the Agile Manifesto in mind. Number two, develop flexible processes and procedures. Many of the cases we have seen, many of the big consultants comes in and they give you 200 templates, 100 policies, 100 plans. Oh my God, you're not even level 1. How can you adapt right away level 3 and level 4 maturity levels, policy procedures? Not feasible, right? So start with MVP. So select simple process, start with simple process. Start with simple languages, okay? So develop flexible processes and procedures over rigid processes. Number 3, delivering values. This is what I always say. Set a 3 months plan, 3 months delivery plan, so that your sponsor, feel good that they're getting something in every 3 months or 2 months. Deliver values in every shorter, duration. Then use of agile tools over traditional methods. I mean, you should use a software which support both agile and traditional software and support all the, the tools we're going to talk about in this session. All right. Number 2, couple of, there are 12 principles that Agile PMO principles are there. There are 12, and we need to actually bring into in practice. I share you some of the practical experience. Number 1 is that quick win. Design your PMO and the PMO roadmap that we talked about in shorter terms so that you can give them some quick win, right? And make your sponsors happy. Continuous delivery and valuable work. By the way, questions will be coming shortly from these particular slides. Number 2, breaking the PMO roadmap into smaller components. Again, aligned with the PMO philosophy, right? Small components in the roadmaps. Number 3, Agile PMO again needs to work in a self-organized team, right? And again, this is our dream, right? We run our department with a self-organized team. Okay, so when we say self-organized team, what comes to your mind? Tell me a couple of characters do you expect from your self-organized team? Tell me. David Origi is there? David, are you there? Richard, are you there? Where are you guys? Yeah, who want to participate? Who can tell me 2 characteristics of self-organized team? Era, tell me. What comes to your mind when it comes to thinking of a self-organized team? 2 special characters, tell me. As a manager, from your experience.
A self-organized team would have, first of all, a methodology that they follow to track the progress or any kind of change, and they would be dynamic, and they would have the planning and the execution, and they would have the outcomes and the lessons learned to monitor it and evaluate it at the end or in the middle of the process. Those are the ones that came to my mind, Abdullah.
Very good, Eda. We really appreciate. Only on this topic, how to build a PMO self-organized team, we can take half day session because it's a very critical and important topic, right? Just to make your life easy, I can give you the one of my experience to develop a self-organized system in couple of these things. Start from ends up with 3 facets. Number 1, autonomy. Number 2, mastery. Number 3, purpose. Again, I'm telling you, 3 important, characteristics for, to develop a self-organized team. Number 1, autonomy. Give them authority to take decisions, but not necessarily you have to do it in day 1 because there are team developing stages, right? Once they're ready, then give the authority. Okay. Number 2, mastery. give them training, allow them do more experiments so that, they can, they can do experiments, they can learn from mistakes and become master in certain domain. And number 3, purpose. Why they're doing it? Why they're working for the PMO? Give me a reason. Why should someone work for PMO? There must be a legit reason, a bigger purpose to connect with the PMO team members, right? Right. Think of the, the Qatar World Cup, the PMO team of Qatar World Cup. They really deserve a big round of applause, right? And they just, I'm sure they just didn't work for the PMO only to organize it. They really wanted to make a real big impact around the world to say the Qatar World Cup, the best World Cup ever, right? So there has to be a purpose, which really connects them to drive them work for the PMO. Okay, good. So then basically identifying the champions. What does it mean, identifying the champions? Identifying the champions means, bring people into PMO who really wants to contribute, who really process master, and they really want to bring some value within the organization. It's very important to identify the champions. Then basically creating processes that promote sustainable efforts, maintaining constant pace for completed works, and welcoming changes. PMO needs to have this window open to welcome changes, right? And assembling the PMO team, project team, and the business owner on a regular basis. That's very, very important. Have regular coordination meetings. Then very important that PMO, they have a lessons learned database, and they maintain this lessons learned database. And measuring progress in every sprint or every month is very, very important. How many backlogs they could have delivered, how many projects they could have delivered. That's very, very important. They measure the progress. And continuous improvement is a must, and harnessing that change. These are the 12 PMO principles that we need to adapt and believe when we are operating in a PMO agile PMO context. All right. So now, sure, I don't have much time. But do you know how much time do I have? Maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah, if we want to go into questions, depending how much time we want to leave for questions.
Okay. Sure, no problem. So now I'm to give you some practical, some practices in Agile PMO. Maybe many of you can say, okay, tell me how, if I want to start Agile PMO from tomorrow, what should I do? First of all, you really need to go through the CBPMO framework first. You need to go through this process first, like, setting up your, the business objective, your readiness check, your, executable layer, supporting layer. All this has to be there first. You cannot just jump into Agile PMO, right? Now, when you're designing this whole PMO, you can add up all these, Agile philosophies. How? So a couple of examples. Number one is, one thing you can do, project listing based on priority. Okay, your Agile, your PMO is getting like 100 project requests from different departments. So you got to actually list your PMOs based on the priorities, and need to set this criteria also. What are the criteria to select these projects? Number two, backlog prioritizations and groomings is very, very important. And also track velocity and progress. Which projects among 10 projects in your PMO, which projects velocity is what? What is your overall velocity of the PMO, right? And what is the plan versus actual in PMO context and everything? Then frequent review and lessons learned is another big, as a PMO practice that we do. Okay, and finally the real-time visibility. Make sure you have the software which gives you real-time data. How many backlogs have been delivered today? How many in progress? How many needs to be done? And all this, right? Okay. So yeah, I don't want to go to practice, but good news is that PMO Global Institute actually, bringing an Agile PMO certifications sometimes in New Year in 2023. It is going to be very, interesting, certifications called Certified Agile PMO Consultant, and hopefully once it is released, and there will be another framework on Agile PMO itself with guideline and guidebook as well. Hope to actually share with you the framework once it's available. And to get all the updates of PMO Global Institute, about the new certifications, about the Agile PMO framework, and also if you want the free copy of the CBPMO framework that we have covered, just join PMOGI member. Maybe Corinne, you can share the associate membership, which is a free membership of PMO Global Institute. You can just click and become an associate membership of PMOGI and can download the CBPMO framework, right? That I have just explained to you, right? Okay, cool. Long sessions. I wish that I can take. I normally take a long day sessions. I love to take long day sessions, but it's a very interesting topic within very short period of time. Hopefully I could connect with all of you, and that's all from my side. If you have any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat box, and I'll be happy to answer any questions related to Agile and Agile PMO, as well as the PMO setup and PMO related questions. I'll be more than happy to actually answer. Just a couple of maybe I will take three questions from the list, starting from Dylan. Any questions available?
Yes, so we do have one from Asan, which asked how to manage sponsorship or top management when there's a conflict of decision-making for crucial projects.
You see, so I'm hoping that you are managing, you are in a PMO role, and you are seeing that there are a couple of, you have many top managements or management team, and they are not able to take or pick the right projects for you, right? Or maybe you're not able to convince them, right? You see, first of all, as a project manager, as a PMO expert, you need to, explain to them with data why they should go for this project, not for that project. Okay, so this is a professional, as a professional, you should do this, number one. Number two is that then leave it to your management. They will be the best judge to select the right project for you, right? But as a professional, you should just share your experience, your opinions, what should be the right decision for your top management. At the end of the day, it's your top management decision. I'm sure they have some logic and they will share the logic with you as well, why, they are choosing what projects, all right? Next question.
Yeah, we have another question from Siri. Yeah, is it possible to picture a failed PMO? I'm assuming you meant.
What do you mean by failed PMO, Siri? You can unmute and talk, Siri.
Hello. Is my voice clear?
Please. Yes, please.
At the early stages of your presentation, you told about failed PMO, but how does a PMO can fail? And I cannot picture that in my mind. Can you please try to describe me how does that fail? Is it that the top rank C levels decide to shut down the PMO? Is that what you mean? But or what exactly you mean? Thank you.
I like that. I like that question, Siri. Very good question. It's very important to understand that. What does it mean by a failed PMO? Very important, right? Does it mean that after 3 years your PMO got shut down and it's failed? Probably it is one of the types of failed PMO, getting it shut down. But again, go back to your PMO KPIs. In the CBPMO framework, we have explained a couple of things, right? Number one, we set some business objectives, right? Let's say we have like 4 or 5 business objectives to actually to achieve through this PMO. Maybe if one of the objective is not achieved, we can consider it's partially achieve objectives, right? So stick with your PMO KPIs and the objective. As long as they are not actually achieved, you can consider it is not successful PMO. Again, you need to define it. What is your definition of successful PMO? Let's say you have like 5 objectives in your PMO, and 4 objectives achieved, 1 did not achieve. Can you really call it a failed PMO? Maybe I can call it a failed PMO. Maybe you can say, no, I have achieved 80%. So define. If it is like 60% achievement, I will call my PMO as a successful one. If it is less than 60%, I will call itself as a failed PMO. Got it, Siri? So you got to define your own definition of your PMO success and failure, success criteria. Thank you, Siri. Any other questions?
We have another one by Mustafa asking if you can elaborate or talk a bit more about AI-driven project management. I think that's quite a
Thank you,
trendy
Mustafa. Yeah, I have one signature session, Mustafa, right, which is how AI drives PMO with some practical simulation. Like, this is how AI, artificial intelligence, basically help you manage PMO, not directly, help the PMO heads and the PMO managers, to drive their PMO. So keep in touch. I think that's another 2 hours of session. Last time I spoke into PMI Singapore chapter, so how AI drives PMO in a couple of other chapters as well. So hopefully in future, if you organize any events, keep in touch. I will share it in my LinkedIn profile. Do join these sessions, and that will be an interesting experience. Hopefully in future also with Turkey chapter also, maybe in future we can organize these sessions. It's at least 1 hour sessions. How artificial intelligence drives PMO.
It will be good.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions you have? Otherwise, I would like to pass it back to Dylan. And before that, I'd like to congratulate all the participants who made it happen to finally join the sessions today. You guys deserve a big round of applause. So, before I say goodbye, can we have a group picture? So, Corinne, are you ready? Everyone, please come on video. Let's take a group picture that will go in LinkedIn tomorrow. All right, group picture. Everyone come on video. Right, 1, 2, 3. Everyone say something.
I like your cheese, Dilara. I like your cheese.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you everyone. So I'll not take much time, and I really appreciate Dilara, especially Dilara, for organizing these events and taking the lead in charge of these particular events, right? A lot of registrations happened, a lot of participants joined today, and also Burak and all the other organizers who really put a lot of efforts to organize this event. Thank you, Turkey chapter. Thank you all the awesome audience. Have a good day, good night, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
And thanks so much for that amazing speech on covering Agile PMO, Abdullah. Really appreciated. And I hope you have all been taking notes, because this is some key information that will be in our quiz later. So I do hope you paid attention. And I would like to move on to our next speaker. And this is someone who is actually from Turkey. And this is Eda. So Eda is the Assistant Vice President of Global Partnerships for PMO Global Institute, and is responsible for promoting PMO learning through collaboration and our partnering program, covering the Latin American, Middle East, and Africa regions. With a history of project management and business consulting, business development, and strategic planning, Eda's goal is to add value to companies' partners by providing creative end-to-end services and products, training and partnership, in order to create an efficient and improved work environment with course-changing strategies. She's on a mission to extending PMO knowledge across all the continents with appropriate business partnership programs. And for those of you who don't know, she's also a great singer.
Dylan, I'm really not. Thank you, Dylan, for a great introduction, but let's correct it. They are trying to make me a singer in our team, which I am really not. Thank you for that. So it is great to actually see other project management professionals from Turkey. It is my pleasure to meet you all and present the actually career opportunities as a PMO expert, what you can do with the CB PMO certification, how you can become a partner, and also membership opportunities in PMO Global Institute. And before starting, I would like to ask, everyone asked some questions, but I really wonder, for my own knowledge, is there any PMOs in our group right now currently working as a PMO? Could you write it in the chat box if there are any? No one works under a PMO or works as a PMO. You are. Okay, thank you, Ayhan. Ah, Mustafa is okay. Altin is also amazing. So we have already PMOs within us. Amazing. So which industries are you working in, currently working in? Could you also type in? Banking, of course. Finance, health, banking. Amazing. Really great. So thank you for that. So let's start to my section. I will be sharing my screen and also presenting you some of the common roles, PMO roles, that you might take in organizations, and we will go on from there. So let's go. You can see my screen right now?
Yep.
Great. So as you can see, there are PMO sponsors who are actually, they are executive sponsors. It's a person or a group of people at the senior management level. Basically, they are responsible for the success of a project, portfolio, or program, and they provide necessary guidance and resources to the project team and management. And there are the PMO directors who are more responsible for overseeing the planning, execution, and evaluation of all projects within their organizations. And there are PMO managers who maintain and clearly they define the company's standards throughout the process of each project or program, and growth and implementation, they follow that too. And they would supervise the work of all the PMO office staff and typically oversee the projects produced by the office. And there are PMO officers who are responsible for maintaining the best practices and documenting project status and strategy in one place. And of course, there are trainers, coaches, PMO coaches, and PMO staff that work for the same goal for the PMOs. So these are the PMO roles that you can take in your organization. And so let's go to the membership, how you can actually become involved in PMO Global Institute. So the first one is the membership. We have two types of memberships. Abdullah just mentioned the associate membership. It's a free membership. You can sign up for free and you can download the framework. You can see that, you will be getting access to the PMO Global Institute's PMO community and also get discount on the global events and so on. But I highly recommend you to become a regular member, because when you become a regular member, you would get the access to the digital version of the PMO guidebook, and it will be actually really good basis for you to set up your PMO, or if you're already a PMO, to improve it. But of course, the second way, let me also add, at the end of the session, everyone is talking about it. We will have a quiz and you can win the guidebook for free. So which is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend all of you to join to that quiz to get the guidebook. The second way to become involved in the PMO Global Institute is to become a CB PMO consultant. And how you can become a CB PMO consultant is to take courses from one of our authorized instructors. And these courses are for 21 hours. We've seen some of our partners here, also some of our authorized instructors. And when you go through the guidebook with our training program, actually you will be helpfully setting up and improving your PMO within your organization. And so this is the badge that you would get after taking the 21-hour course and taking the exam. This is the badge that you would get. And the second way is to become a CB PMO authorized business partner. The third way, the last one. And if you're already an instructor or an independent project management consultant, you can become a partner. If you're a PMO, already a PMO, and actually you want to boost your career or share your knowledge and expertise in the many years of work that you dedicated in, you can also consider becoming an authorized business partner. And you would be becoming a certified accredited consultant and an authorized instructor for PMOs. So you should definitely consider to join our partnership program. You can contact me. I will drop my email address to the chat box. And I will also share our partnership email address for your consideration if you are interested in becoming a partner. Also, please, when you are an associate member, you will get notifications on our signature events. Some of our are on topics about fast tracking your PMO, the dynamics of Agile PMO, the one that we are already in right now. And also Abdullah mentioned this, that how to carry out PMO maturity assessment will be also a signature event title coming in 2023. And so you can just this is where it takes us to the website. You can sign up from there. Let me show you. You can just sign up very easily from our website. And I think Corinne shared it, the link with you all also. And this is the email address that my colleagues are going to type in also to the chat box. And if you want to organize PMO events at your organization to increase the PMO knowledge, you can always email to our event email address. So that's all I would like to share with you. Thank you again. It's my pleasure to meet you all. Passing to you, Dylan.
Thank you very much, Eda, for explaining about careers in PMO. And for anyone interested in developing that, you have those details, and please get in contact with us. As we said, our goal is our goal at PMO Global Institute is to drive down that 75% failure rate in PMOs. And we are one of the biggest PMO global institutes in the world, and we do specialize in creating successful PMO professionals in this enterprise. But without further ado, yes.
Just to interrupt, I thought, Eda is going to say something in local language. Before Eda leaves, I want something to say in local language, Eda, please.
Sing it, Eda, sing it.
You want me to? Abdullah, why you're making such no? What do you want me to sing it? Like in Turkish?
Yes,
please. Say something in Turkish.
Everyone will
say
leave.
Something in Turkish.
Yes, Turkish, please.
Everyone knows kuzu kuzu. So I can just say kuzu kuzu. Everyone will understand. All right. Is that okay?
Yes.
İşte kuzu kuzu geldim. Everyone knows about it. Because otherwise, seriously, everyone will shut down their computer and go away.
All right, we're happy with that. Thanks so much. And it has actually taught me a little bit of Turkish as well.